Hey everybody, it's Ed. Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a really quick hit video. I get a lot of requests asking me how I use the Supernote ToDos and what I use that for. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through my process real quick, give you a good example of what I would use that for, and also show you how that works with the partner app. So again, it's going to be a quick video, but this is a direct response to requests from you. So you'll be able to tell me at the end whether or not it was useful. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. All right, so here we are with my trusty A5, partially because it's my 5-year anniversary with Supernote, but also because I want to reinforce that what I'm about to show you, you can use on any device that Supernote has made since the X series. So if you use the original A5 or A6, this isn't available. That runs on Linux. But if you're using the A5X, A6X, the Manta, or the Nomad, this process is going to be virtually the same, except for one or two hardware limitations, which of course has to do with the dual sliders. But I want to show this so that you can see exactly what this looks like on the partner app and also on the device. So for example, I've got to manually select my lasso here because of the fact that you don't have that dual slider. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to circle this. And I've created this note to be something that I may take a note with my boss and I write some text. Of course, it's fake for demo purposes, but then I would have my bullet list. So here you see call canvas about contract. So what I'll do is I'll go to this ellipse after I circle it. I will say new task. It will recognize that text, call canvas about, and it did can instead of call. So it misread my recognition. So you always want to just double check. And I want to say that it's else. So call canvas about contract. I'm going to go ahead and pick today's date and say, okay. Now, when I add that, what you're going to see here in a minute is, and we'll click over here, this will go to the inbox, but you'll see call canvas about contract on the screen. Really cool, useful functionality. Now, what I can do is go ahead and do the other two. So I will circle this, and these are close together. So sometimes it will try to pick up both lines, which it did there. And so I'll want to go and circle it this way. There we go. You can see it says touch base with admissions. So I will go ahead and do my ellipse again. And then I will say new task. It will convert that to text. It didn't get the B. So we will go ahead and put a B in there. So touch base, and it got some of that messed up. It did it much better the first time. So again, I was writing in a hurry when I wrote this, so it may not have been as clear as I wanted it to be. So we will go ahead and manually take that, touch base with admissions. I'm going to go ahead and put today's date. Okay. Add. And now that one will pop up over on the screen as well. And then finally, we will do recap our meeting. I will circle that. It didn't get the whole thing. This is mostly user error. So recap our meeting. Again, new task. There's our task. And I can say the 29th. Okay. The nice thing about this is that when I hit this add, and I didn't mention this on the first task, it takes me right back to the note I was in. I have my auto sync turned off currently, so I'm going to go ahead and manually sync this in the background. But now what I've done, and the reason I do this, and let me be real clear about that, is that I'm a heavy user of Google Tasks. Also, in the past, I've been a heavy user of Microsoft To Do. So I have that for my official workflow in most cases. And then for big projects, I use a program called Basecamp. And the nice thing about Basecamp is that you can do all of that project management stuff you want to do. So why would I do this? Well, the reason to do this is because maybe these are things I just need to do today. These are things I need to get done today. They're not going to be carried over. They're not long-term planning. They're just things that I want to be able to get done and get through the day, or maybe immediate. They may be urgent. They don't fit in that long-term planning space. Now, if Supernote does where they combine to-dos or to-do functionality with this, then you get the best of both worlds. But this way, I don't have to manually manipulate and move that over. So I can go here and I can go to my to-dos, and then you're going to see I have 3 in inbox. I have 3 in planned because I added a date to all of them. And then I have 3 in all. So those are things that need attention. And you'll notice here on the right that I have the notebook. So it's going to take me back to that notebook if I press on this. Takes me right back to that notebook. And then I can just go back to the to-dos and we're right back where we started. This is really useful if it's multiple notes or multiple pages, or you're doing this over multiple meetings. And these are all the things you want to get done that day that are really important that may have superseded your long-term planning. But what's really nice as well is if I hold down here and I let that select, I can do a multiple select and I can do move and say we want to move this to social. So I move that to social. Now you'll notice there's nothing in my inbox except my completed notes. There are still 3 in planned and there are 3 in all, but now there are 3 in social. So now I can go here to social and then we're all good. I can also manually add a task. I can press here and I can edit this. I can move it. I can actually reorder these if I want to be able to do that to set a priority list, or I can delete and set that date. So that is really, really useful to be able to do that. And then, of course, I can check them off from here as well. What's cool is you'll notice over here on the partner app, now there's nothing in the inbox. Those moved almost simultaneously, probably about a 10-second delay. There are 3 still in planned. There are 3 in all, and now there are 3 in social. And what's really nice is you still see the notebook icon here, so that when I press that, I'm now able to see where everything is. Now it takes you to the page. It does not take you to like the actual text. So you are going to have to look for that. There's no highlighting. I think that would be a useful feature, but quite frankly, I don't think it's necessary. And then I can just go back out here. And from here, if I right click, I can pick a date and I can move. Now I can't do all of the things. I can't set the priority list. That's only available on device, but it is really useful. And then from here, I can press, let's say I already called Canvas. So I go ahead and I press that I called Canvas. Now, this is doing an automatic sync in the background once either one of these recognizes a change. And you'll see now that just went away on my device. So pretty cool. And then if I take this and I say, well, I already did both of these other tasks. Now they're showing completed on the tablet. And here in just a second or two, you're going to see them go away on the app. And that is just really useful functionality to have. Boom, they're gone. Now, if I hit completed here, I can see all of my tasks. Now, one nice thing about the completed tab is I still get my notebook entries. And if I expand that in the app, you'll see the same thing. I can still go back, even though I've completed these tasks, I can go back to the note they were completed in and use that information. I can press this and it's going to find, it may take a minute, especially if it's an older note, but it's going to find and locate that note and take me right to it. So that is really an amazing function, and you can do that both on the app and on the device. So pretty cool. So let's go ahead and jump over. Like I said, this was going to be a quick video, but let's jump over, have a final closing thought, and I will see you in just a minute. All right, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there. Like I said, very quick video, but I've gotten a lot of requests about how I use this device and why I would use the to-do feature on the Supernote. And, it took me a while to get my head around how I would use it because I'm such a big user of Google Tasks. And I think that those are very good for long-term planning, planning your week, getting things ready to go. But then I got to thinking as I'm taking notes in meetings with people and I get this information, and it's like, hey, I need to call this person, and that person, or this company. And I need something that works on the fly. I may have just brought my Supernote. Yes, I've got my phone and I could go in and type in the task, but do I really need to do that when the information and the contextual information for where that note is already in my Supernote and already in my partner app? No, I don't. So I just circle my tasks. I create them really quickly. They're on device. I can go ahead and do what I need to do and then tick them off. Therefore, in the moment, in the day, get this done right away. It supersedes that planning perspective and lets you just be in the moment. Also, for those people who don't have a dedicated task management app like Todoist, like Google Tasks, like Microsoft To Do, they can replicate what Paper does as far as note taking and all of that, and then exceed that by being able to create tasks and to dos on the fly and still have a coherent to do list from all of the meetings they've been in. So you can stay completely out of a proprietary ecosystem for that information. It only exists on your device. You don't even have to connect to the internet. You can just have your notebook. To me, that's brilliant. So thank you all so much for indulging me in this. Thank you for asking the question. I always appreciate these thoughtful questions and how you all think about using your devices. So please drop it down in the comments. Let me know if this was helpful, if you have a different workflow, if this works for you, if you think I'm off base, and why would you do that? Why wouldn't you use your phone or something else? I don't know. It might not work for everybody, but for me, it's great. So until next time, thank you all so much. I will see you in the next video and keep on moving forward. Have a great one. Bye now.